The deathless eyes.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I'll play again.
Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Killer, Mom.
I'm just gonna bash your brains.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to 31 Days of Horror Movies 2021. I'm your host, Sam Johnston. Back again, Connor.
Hey,
Welcome
glad
back.
to be back.
Yeah. So, 28 Days Later, ... directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. 4 weeks after a mysterious, incurable virus spreads throughout the UK, a handful of survivors try to find sanctuary. People throughout this movie, I think, are so desperate for the ways of the old world that they're doing non-human-like things to animalistic like things to get that normalcy back.
Mm-hmm.
The main character in this movie, I think, he's a perfect person for us to follow because he's like a time traveler in the way of he only knew the old world and then he got put into a coma and then woke up into a completely new world that is
28 days later.
28 days later, and it's his journey and us as the audience's journey to accept the ways of the new world and forget about the old world. The first thing that we see is human on human violence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's being fed to this one ape who's like spread eagle, chained to
all monitors.
It can't escape the violence in its view. And they've got these wires coming off of it, and they're studying probably the effects that it has on the brain, the monkey brain. Our violence is the catalyst of this disease, or whatever it is.
Right.
They were maybe developing some sort of weapon.
Yeah, we don't know if it's studying it to cure it or studying it to, release it onto the mass population.
Right.
The first scene is human-on-human violence, and that's the scarier part. The zombies are infected people. You hit them over the head and they're done.
Right.
Whatever. The humans are way scarier with their actions.
Which is so genius of the filmmakers to, like we kind of talked about before, the zombies don't look that different than the humans do.
Right.
They have the red eyes. They've got like blood coming out of their mouth, but I didn't see any with their like arms cut off or like their head split open walking around. They look just like angry people. It's uncontrollable. Rage is an emotion. Emotions are uncontrollable and incurable. You can't get rid of emotions.
Yeah.
The scientist is just pleading with them. Do not let them out. They're contagious. Highly contagious. Don't.
Whatever.
They're cute. Blah, blah, blah.
I want to pet it.
Open it up. And what is the first thing they do? Bites her, attacks her. Within 20 seconds is already throwing up blood.
Mm-hmm.
Turns around. We see the red eyes. Intense, rage-filled red eyes. And 28 days later. And we open 28 days later with Cillian Murphy, who is
Butt-ass naked.
And he's naked, so he's like a newborn baby into this world. He is completely unaware of the world and has no idea how this world works. And we see him throughout the rest of this movie learn how to behave and operate in this world. The first scenes, he's kind of waking up and going through this hospital, screaming hello over and over and over again. That's
no answers.
And he screams hello a lot. I mean, I think in this first 10 minutes, the only word he says is hello. The hospital's empty. He has this interesting moment where he comes across a bunch of Coke and Pepsi on the ground, and he's obviously probably thirsty and hungry, so he cracks it open and sucks it back real quick. Yeah. But even though he knows nothing about what happens, he does have some sort of survival instinct that's kicking in, right? Because he takes some of those cans with him. Still grasping onto some sort of normality, where does he go for guidance when he has no answers is a church. I think is a really, really smart choice by the filmmakers and writer to make this the spot, a church, where we see our first zombie in full form.
Right.
I think it's because it's a safety place, but holy shit, even the church isn't safe.
Nowhere's safe. A priest comes out.
Yes.
And you don't really see his face yet.
No.
You just see like the silhouette, and you know he's a priest, and he's stumbling, and then all of a sudden he starts rushing and doing that twitch, and he attacks Cillian Murphy.
He's
First attack he ever gets.
Yeah, it's the first zombie attack, and he instinctually, again, I think just hits him with the cans.
Yeah.
Go. And then he immediately feels bad about it.
Sorry.
I shouldn't have done that.
I'm sorry, Father.
His instincts so far have been the things that have saved him, with like picking up the cans and hitting this guy, whether it's a priest or not, that's rushing you with the cans. Those literally only his instincts have saved him at this point. It's not even him thinking about it. And then he is saved by Molotov cocktails. And then they end up going down into the tube. This is when we meet Mark and Selena, who immediately come off as threatening, but he's also telling a joke at the same time.
Yeah, a very bad joke.
Very terrible joke.
But delivering it in a serious tone.
He's pointing his gun at him.
Yeah. And I
Like,
think he still has the mask on until like one of the last words he says.
Yeah, like
and
the
he takes it
punchline.
off. Yeah, punchline, takes it off, and he like giggles.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't get it?
This movie does a really good job of making the quiet moments super, super quiet and the loud moments super, super loud and in your face, which I think is deliberate, because in a zombie world, you're either hiding from the zombies and have to be really quiet, or you're running from the zombies and everything is super hectic and life or death.
Yeah.
And this movie, I mean, we're going from a zombie high energy gas station blowing up pursuit to now we're brought into this tiny little space and you're telling me a joke. And we're going from up here to down here like immediately. Literally coming down into the tube.
Yeah.
Going from up here to down here really fast. And they have a moment where they look at each other and they're like, holy shit, this guy actually has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
They kind of established in this scene that pretty much the world has shut down. He's still grasping at the old world.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that he's trying to grasp at is his family. That's his first thought. He's like, I need to talk to my family. I need to call my family. Where's my mom? Where's my dad? Like, I need to be with my family right now. I need to go talk to them. And they're just like, they're probably dead. But they arrive at the house. And he goes up to his parents' room. And it is sad. It is a sad scene.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
You don't want, and he definitely don't want to see
No.
it. And then he picks up the photo, and on the back, it's like this note, and that note ends with saying, "Don't wake up," which is just like the worst thing that you could possibly see after waking up.
Yeah.
Like, he comes downstairs, and Selena and Mark are so not sympathetic too.
Yeah, they're just like, you're wasting our time.
You're lucky.
Fucking go. You're lucky that they killed themselves in bed and weren't eaten alive.
Which to us as the audience and to Cillian Murphy, we're like, what? We're
pretty
lucky?
fucking bad to see that, guys.
Lucky? What are you talking about? And then Mark shares his
Gruesome.
infection story.
Gruesome story.
He still can't accept that he's still living in the old world. And he has that moment in the middle of the night where he's just like kind of zombieing around the house, and he's
Going through flashbacks.
yeah. Again, the music and the moment is so quiet and so subdued, and we're just living in this flashback with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly, bam!
Scared me.
Through the window, reality, the new reality, literally breaks through.
Yeah.
and it's two zombies that break in
Mm-hmm.
to this house, and he starts getting attacked, and he's just on the defensive this whole time. Luckily, Mark and Selena come in very quickly.
Chop, chop, chop.
Chop,
Easy
chop, chop.
done.
Boom, boom, boom. Got it done. But
Marky boy.
in this world, you
Can't
can't.
take any chances.
You can't.
I don't know if I would. Because in
I
15 to 20 seconds, you could be a zombie, and I might be dead by that time.
And Selena just straight up turns around. Boom.
Pops off the arm.
Yeah, she's
And
just
then-
hacking away.
The rest of him.
He's dead. He's gone.
And now we just are left with Selena, who seems heartless and violent, but is also going to save your ass. So you should
Yeah.
probably follow her wherever she's going.
These characters that we're left with, Killian and Selena, are almost perfect polar opposites. He's a representation of the old world. She's a representation of the new world. She's very selfish. I mean, and that is part of this world. You have to be somewhat selfish to survive, which Killian, I think, brings out the old world in her and in the characters around him, just because he is such a constant reminder of that naivety of the old world. And in that scene, it ends with them seeing the light, Christmas lights, on a porch in an apartment building. They reach the top, and it's just another moment of, I see a guy in a SWAT uniform, I'm like, I feel immediately threatened. And he also has his, like, shield.
Shield out, ready to go.
It looks like, holy shit, are we going to get past this guy?
Yeah.
And there's a kind of a tense moment where they're like, are you good or bad? And he's like, come on through. And then we go into his apartment. And it's this another just weird moment of, we just went through this intense chase scene up this stairwell, and we come into this apartment. Christmas lights, Christmas music. The guy takes off his mask. He's like, welcome, hey! He's
Thanks
like,
for coming.
all smiles.
Yeah.
This is my daughter. Hey, let's go get some of the Christmas wine,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, mom's old batch. He, like, comes in to see Selena after he shaved, and he's like, kind of like, he doesn't say it, but he's almost like acting like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, don't I look good? Don't I look better? She doesn't give a shit.
No, why would she?
Why would she care about that?
Yeah.
He says this line where he's like, oh, like, my face is shredded, because he, like, cut himself a couple times.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking at that moment, okay, Selena has probably actually seen people's faces legitimately shredded.
Yeah.
Yeah, pulled off. But to you, this is what a shredded face is. This is also when Frank shows them the distress signal on the radio. And then the daughter kind of chimes in and is like, and we know that you need us too.
Frank is frustrated. The scene before, he kicks the buckets because there's no rain. And then you see him kind of like frantically with the radio, showing like, this is, we just need to get to Manchester. If we get to Manchester, there's salvation. The army base is there. We'll be fine. Killian and Selena really need them because they have the whip. They got the car.
Yeah.
They got that sweet black taxi.
So cool. They stop in front of the tunnel, and they're like, there's no other way through. And then Frank literally says, this is a bad idea. And he just goes. Tire pops.
Yeah.
Or
They get
something.
a flat in the
They
tunnel.
go flat. And of course.
Yeah.
Because what did he say 1,000 times before this? This is a bad idea. So they're trying to change the tire, and then you mentioned mice before, which I thought was interesting, because now we have a scene of thousands and thousands of rats, just a wave of rats just coming towards them, which to me is like invokes image, is like very biblical, where like vermin will rule the streets, kind of. But in this case, it's a warning. And as soon as we see all those rats coming, we're like, let's get a move on.
Get that tire on.
Let's get that tire on.
Let's go, Hannah.
They establish her
do
character somehow as like, she is the wheelman. She's changes that frickin' tire. She's the one who's doing these crazy like driving techniques that we see a little later. She's the one that ultimately at the end is driving them away. She is resourceful as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And her being this idea of like the bright future I think is totally right, because she is a person who is young, almost growing up in this world. So she's going to be most well equipped for this world because she's only lived in this world. Mm-hmm. And so she does a very good job of quickly changing that tire, and they, just in time, there's that fucking zombie that is in the back.
Catches.
And it's lit up. I thought it was perfect because it was lit up by the brake light of the car, which made it all red. And then the fucking red eyes that you could see so clearly. And then they peel out of there and they get out of there just in time.
Then they are driving, talking about Manchester. I don't know if they see it. I forget what their dialogue is in the car. But there's like, we're in the car watching them have dialogue, and then we're outside and we pan up. And it's kind of a really long scene.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, this road is so fucking long.
Yeah.
And we finally see tree line and then buildings on fire.
Yeah.
And it's pretty wide also. So you see like the entire width of Manchester on fire. And that's supposed to be their salvation.
This city on fire.
Yeah. And they cut to them driving up to the army barricade.
Yeah.
Going through the different maneuvers of blocks that they made. And it doesn't really look good.
It does not. Well, the lighting immediately changes too, because it becomes, we just went from this wide shot of them driving towards, I mean, it's a city on fire, but it was still brightly lit, to now dark, heavy shadows, smoky, gray. Like, this green, does not dark. Immediately look good. There always was this looming possibility that no one would be there.
That's right.
But definitely Frank didn't want to accept that.
No.
This location has been the source, I think, of his optimism.
The entire time.
The whole time.
That is what's getting him up in the morning.
Yep. And taking care of these people and getting them there, because he really believes we can find salvation, and this is it. This is the first time we really see him pissed off. He is yelling. He's like, ah, like, and he has to like separate himself. He like really does not want to see that.
It's disrespecting that human. It's eating. It's a pest. That's just, destroying this life even more.
It's a reminder of exactly what every zombie is doing too.
What could be him later on. And he's so pissed off that he bangs on the side of the wall.
Yeah, just to get the bird off of him.
And I think the bird leaves, but then there's a drop of blood. And it falls down. He's still looking up. Right in the eye.
Hannah, especially, of course, comes up to him and is like, "Are you okay, Dad? Get the fuck away from me!" He has to like shove.
Not showing it.
He does like, that.
Go, leave, just leave.
Oh my god!
And Selena grabs Hannah to console her, and she's like, "Frank, he's infected."
Yeah, I mean, Selena knows immediately what she's got to do. Of course.
Him. And he gets all twitchy and like, all right, this is zombie.
Here goes Killian in the middle.
Attacking. Killian coming in.
I think he has his bat in his hand.
I thought you were going to say a bag of soda.
He brought back his weapon of choice, bag of soda. And in that moment, I felt like he was not going to be able to strike Frank. It felt like he was still not accepting what he would have to do in that moment, because it's Frank.
He's kind of
he called him
his dad.
He called him Dad.
You're gonna kill your dad, and now he has to do what Selena mentioned before. Like, you might have to do this, even though he's not biologically your dad. He feels like your own father.
Yeah.
If he were attacked, it'd be like, all right, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But he kind of caused it on himself because he was so frustrated with that crow, that damn crow.
Right before Cillian Murphy can even make a decision on whether he's going to hit him with the bat or not, Army comes in and pop, 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 pop. Like,
waiting
8 times. Like,
how long have you been watching?
They've been watching the whole time. And yeah, it was like this awful, awful moment, but at least they saved them.
Yeah.
at that time when we were watching, we're like, okay, they showed up finally, but they did save them, and they bring them back to their command post, which they are then greeted with open arms by the commander, who
in his mansion,
yeah, which seems well protected. It's barricaded.
They have a little home tour.
Yes,
they get to see the grounds.
We end the tour with the last soldier, who is a zombie that they have chained up by the neck.
Big metal
collar. Yeah.
And at first you didn't see anything because there's like laundry linens across.
Yeah.
And and quickly going through. And then the snap. That hurt my neck just watching that.
Yeah.
And seeing that it was this black man and this like very clearly arrogant, cocky white man of just going like, we are studying him.
Yes.
We're watching him. He's here. And he clearly was also a soldier. Like he was infected.
Yeah.
And we're now watching him to see like how he acts.
Yeah. We're getting information out of him against his will. And then he ends it with, and he's about to tell me how long it takes for them to starve to death. This is the switch of who is the real villain in this movie. Is it man or is it zombie? Because man is looking pretty bad by the end of this movie. Commander is like, we were such more low morale. They were at their wits' end. They couldn't see a future. And so I promised them a future. I promised them women. But I definitely think that there have been people that have come there before, because they eventually take them to a part in the woods where there's a bunch of other dead bodies.
Oh, that's true.
Like a lot of dead bodies.
Ton of dead bodies.
And I can't, I don't know who else those would be.
Major asshole.
Yes.
And the cook who doesn't know how to make eggs or anything.
Yeah, really anything.
Go out to the killing fields.
Yes.
And we see they've got practice.
They've
done this before. There's like bodies on top of bodies. Yeah. They're on the hillside.
Right before he's about to stab him, the other soldier is like shoots him. And in that time, Killian has disappeared. Brilliant move by Killian. They run off, and he has just become what he was about to become, essentially. One of the dead bodies. He is just blended in with the dead bodies and just stands up. He's like, peace. And then we go back to, this is when we cut back to Selena and Hannah. And it's a scene where they're trying to force them to dress in these red dresses.
And they're telling them to change in front of them.
Yeah.
And Selena makes the brave move to protect herself and Hannah. I'm going to kiss the weakest link, who has already shown that he wants me. So she kisses him. I was like, just, can you please leave? It's polite.
At this moment, I think, because we've talked about how her character has been this like ideal, like this picture of this new world, she is the complete product of this new zombie apocalypse world. She actually uses the old world in this moment for the first time. A kiss is affection, and flirting is something that is of the old world, and she uses that against them to get what she wants. Killian Murphy is about to go full animal on this place. He fucking does the horn, gets all them outside, and then we have this crazy fucking scene of, at some points you don't even know who is the zombie and who is Killian Murphy. Like, he leads...
They blend into each other.
Yeah. All the army guys are just being picked off by either zombies or Killian Murphy. Selena is being held captive by, I think it's probably Major Asshole.
Probably
at this end point.
It's gotta be.
He is being a major asshole. And he comes in and he just goes like freaking savage on him. After he kills Major Asshole, he stands up and he's in the shadows, and Selena even has a moment of is it you? And she like comes down almost at him with the blade, but he steps into the light just in the last minute. And he's like, I thought you said it would be in a heartbeat.
Has some sly remark. Oh, Killian.
And then they kiss. Right?
Yeah, they kiss hard and long. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's go back to the cool ass taxi.
Yeah, so let's run down to the taxi.
And let's open the door, and who's in there? Uh-oh.
Commander Asshole. Oh,
Commander Asshole.
Yeah.
Commander Asshole's down there. Oh, Killian. Luckily, we have the wheelman, Hannah, behind the wheel, and she does like this crazy like whipping around and backs him up straight into Major Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And Major Zombie grabs him, Commander Asshole through the window and just pulls him out. And I mean,
that was awesome. I think we're all cheering at that point.
Oh, for sure. Bye.
They are gone like the wind.
They're driving towards the gate. And the gate is
closed.
Super locked up.
Chains
and
all
like,
throughout it.
She's like, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. And Killian just is like, just go through. Just go through. And then she hits the gate and they fly forward into a freeze frame. I honestly thought that was where the movie was going to end.
And it should have ended there.
Maybe.
I think it could have been better to just, boom, done. Instead of get the nice ending, which we had.
If the movie ended with this kind of ambiguous shot of them maybe dying in this car accident or maybe not, whatever. This entire movie has kind of led to this point of the scariest thing that we've seen is human on human violence or violence from the old world. And for them to die in a car accident feels very old world-esque. Yeah. And so it's not even something that the new world did to them. It wasn't zombies that killed him. It was
like Frank.
Just like Frank. So random. So circumstantial. And so undeserving. Which is this world. That is the world that they live in. People that are infected, they didn't deserve that. No. So for them to die in this undeserving way almost feels like this poetic kind of moment. Plug yourself if you like, or plug our sponsors again.
I'm plugging Zwick. Not sure how you pronounce that, but great premium beer from Poland. Fantastic, refreshing, little sweet taste to it.
Yeah.
Great way to end your night. Cheers.
With zombies and beer.
Zombies and Zwick.
Thank you so much, Connor. You can also find me at BPBritchieT on Instagram, and also check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we are recording this at. Thank you for writing in the air. But until next time, let's get spooky. Ooh, I'm a zombie, but I'm a human, and that's scarier in this movie. Humans are scary.
Feels like COVID.
This is COVID movie.